Well, joining me now to discuss Mr. Trump's furious pace, focusing on jobs and pipelines and steel, the environment, the Dems' sorry campaign of no that they're running against the president's nominees, Matt Schlapp, chairman of the American Conservative Union and host of the Mike Gallagher radio show on the Salem Radio Network, Mike Gallagher. Great to have you both here. Matt, let me just start with you. This looks like a new construct, the time schedule that President Trump has set for himself and his administration. They're moving it. You were in the Bush administration. Did you ever see the Bush administration moving this fast in its entirety?
In all seriousness, not only when our national security was at stake, and what we're really seeing with Donald Trump is that he is a man of action. Look, I think we all know this. He has a very high energy level personally. I don't think he sleeps a lot. He doesn't drink. I don't think he has a lot of hobbies. I think what he does for a living is he works, and he works the whole day. And I think he's going to exhaust this staff, Lou, if he keeps up this pace, and I think the American people are cheering him on.
Well, he has one very lucrative hobby. He loves golf and plays it very well, I'm told.
I don't know. His golf is all business too, I think.
Well, so he probably gets a lot of deals done on the golf course.
Well, it can't be all business because his handicap is so low. But
that's fair.
But turning to this Trump time, Mike, this is really wonderful to watch.
The sense of urgency that he has is so inspiring. It's like every day we see all this stuff roll out, and watch the opposition. Look at what the mainstream media is focusing on. Oh, the bit about did illegals vote or not, or how big was the inauguration crowd. This is the kind of minutia, because they're in a frenzy. They're in hysteria mode because this guy is getting things done. The president is about the business of fulfilling his campaign promises. How many times have we seen Republican presidents, I have to say, or elected officials come into office and not fulfill their promises with the efficiency of this guy? It's amazing.
There was sort of a fog for the past 8 years under President Obama. Things moved at almost a glacial pace, irrespective. You mentioned, Matt, only in times of national security crisis. I think really President Trump understands this is a national security crisis, and I think that's what he's trying to imbue his entire administration with, inculcate that awareness and that sense of urgency, don't you?
Yeah, and these last 8 years, look, I think these last 8 years really brought it home to Donald Trump. I think he got worried, as we all got worried, as we saw our country just careening over a cliff, both from a national security and an economic standpoint. And I do think that he comes into office, I think Mike has said it right, with a sense of dispatch. Like, we do not have time to sit around and debate and talk. We've got to act. And I think the way he's doing these executive orders is exactly right. And I think the American people just want us to get it back.
Right. I want to talk about Sean Spicer, the White House press secretary. Watching day 2 of the official briefings, I look at it that group of reporters, and no offense to my colleagues in the media, but I mean there's something wrong there. They seem inattentive, they seem unfocused, they repeat one another's questions. This is not a group of people, I mean, their news organizations even might consider, in my judgment, Mike, perhaps paying for the White House not to have those briefings broadcast. They don't look good.
Well, he goes in as a sort of a pit bull dog. He's like, this is the way it's going to be. I think a lot of Americans love his style. I sure do. He's been on my radio show many times. He's a great guy. He knows what he's doing, and he's not going to let them pull one over on the American people frankly, like Josh Earnest did and like prior press secretaries have done. And all this nonsense about, supposedly reports that, President Trump doesn't like the light suit that he wears and all that. Are you kidding
you mentioned
me?
Those other folks whose names are, sort of a fading memory now.
The rearview mirror.
But this is a bunch of attack dogs, and you don't really know why they're snarling half the time, other than they're under some kind of order, whether it's an editorial order or a corporate order from which they have derived an editorial strategy. This is, as Sean Spicer said yesterday, Matt, this is a group of people and a national left-wing media that has been biting at Trump's ankles, You know, a good friend of mine once said, you know, every dog has his fleas. I mean, these folks are small. They're irritating by comparison to this historic figure who's now in the Oval Office. And it doesn't look to me like they understand even vaguely the proportions that they're dealing with here.
You know, the press pool actually sits above what used to be the White House swimming pool. And so when Donald Trump says he's going to drain the swamp, that's the room I think of first, Lou, that room where they have those press briefings. And the other thing is, it's amazing about liberals, you know, they will just run roughshod over the Constitution and all the clear words of law. But where are these rules that are sacrosanct, like you must call on the broadcast media first? Like, these are rules that they think are sacrosanct. The rest of us do not.
No, we don't.
Well, and obviously, the press secretary, Spicer, is giving them some reason to recalibrate. I can't let you guys go without asking you, Director James Comey, there are reports, there's been no confirmation or denial as far as directly from the administration, from the White House. What do you think, if the reports are true, that James Comey's being held over? Why and to what effect?
Well, I mean, it might be that President Trump feels he's got other fish to fry besides worrying about that particular controversy. There's a lot to untangle there. I don't understand the role of Director Comey. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Matt, you get the last word.
You know, I have been scratching my head about James Comey ever since he decided to not prosecute Hillary Clinton, because I believe the Obama White House held him back, and I would be more happy with a new FBI director.
All right. Matt Schlapp, Mike Gallagher, thank you both. We appreciate it.